All right. Happy New Year, YouTube. Um, January 11th, 2025. It's my first video of the year. And it's Saturday morning. It's Saturday, 3 o'clock, actually. Saturday, 3 p.m. Um, just wanted to say hi, give you an update on a few things, and sort of kick off my new cadence. My new plan for 2025 is to actually let me just first of all, this is what's going to happen in this video. Going to just give you an update on my new plan. Okay, what to expect from this channel 2025, right? Going to give you a quick update on my non-existent traffic at jasonrathgaber.com, just a project I'm working on. Okay, give you an update on mechanized.com. Very little progress there, but I'll just tell you something interesting about a competitor I've discovered with a very similar name. Quick update on new gear that I'm using, and I'm going to be upgrading the gear. That's my game plan. Make this channel better and better and better. Increase the quality from super low, which it currently is, to higher. And last, maybe I'll talk a little bit about the stock market. I imagine doing some reaction type comment on some social media, comment on things I see. I love watching YouTubers that do that. So let's move this out of the way. And by the way, if you want this document, okay, in this document, I'm going to keep notes of all my videos, and I'm going to have links to the different resources that I talk about. So if you want this document, number one, you have to put your email into the subscribe button in the description. Okay, that is my goal, to collect some emails. And number two, stick around to the end. I'll be pasting a link just to my stock market prediction for 2025. I'm going to paste a link to that down below. But if you want this document, make sure to put your email in the thing. Okay, so what we're doing in 2025. First of all, I wanted just to talk a little bit about a few, sort of the things that have motivated me to make jasonrathgaber.com, to create a personal brand, to have a digital presence in 2025. This is something I'm planning to continue with at all cost, at all effort. You're just such a believer. I love watching YouTube, and I love seeing people make their personal brands. And I'm going to do it too, even though I've got a full-time job in New York City 5 days a week. It's hard as heck, but my plan is to do it on Saturday morning, okay? Took some inspiration from Justin Welsh. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he sort of advocates this idea of being the Saturday morning solopreneur, okay? Every morning I wake up, and I'll tell you one thing interesting about Justin Welsh. It's just that he's shows up on YouTube. He's made a lot of money, sort of selling courses. But I'll tell you one thing: he's consistent. Okay, every single Saturday, his email arrives with some tips on, sort of how to have a personal brand, right? How to have a digital presence, how to connect with your audience, and then how to monetize it. Today's email, January 11th, didn't resonate with me, okay? Many of his emails have. If he has an email that resonates with me, I'll show it. I'll go through it. That's the type of thing I could do on this channel. Go through his email, see if he's got anything interesting to say. But I just thought, I'll paste a link to, you can search for him, or you can get my document, and I'll have a link to some of his materials. Just wanted to think of the United stand. I'm a big Manchester United supporter. If there's one guy who, Justin Welsh sends out email once a month, right? But if there's one guy that does multiple videos and is just on YouTube constantly, we're talking 5 videos a day. And I think I just wanted to think about this today. No matter how he feels, if he's sick, if he's got a sore throat, different states, has a glass of wine, 1, 2, 3, this does not do it justice. But 10,000 videos, 2 million subscribers, 10,000 videos. talking about one thing only: Manchester United, and just the consistency. That's why I'm making this video, right? Justin Welsh every Saturday sends his email, okay? The United stand 5 times a day uploading the content. Impressive. So what to expect from me 2025, a video a week. I think that's just the best I can do. My goal is to wake up Saturday morning. It's 3 p.m. right now. The first one of 2025 is at 3 p.m., right? What a low bar. We had this technical issue, that technical issue, didn't have a wire for my webcam. What am I going to say? I've got my document. We're going to start some consistency. From freezing cold outside, we have to be in my basement. We cranked up the heat. That's the game plan, okay? That's a game plan for 2025. We're going to have a video a week. There's also going to be a blog post. I think about, my goal is to sort of follow that up with a blog post, potentially generated by SEO writing.ai. This is just the different AI writing tools. This channel is going to have an AI theme, using some tips. There'll be a link in the description to an article written with SEO writing.ai. Have a feel free to click on the link. Check it out. I find it just incredible. What some of these tools can do. And it's just about producing content, when you have no time, right? I think myself, a lot of people watching have 9-to-5 jobs. When Friday night rolls around, there is no time to write a blog, to start producing comment. We can make a couple quick points, but, I just think that some of these AI tools that write blogs, that write code, that create videos, that help us, AI has got to help us. So even if it's not perfect, to upload AI generated blogs to our website, right? We're starting with AI content. Part of Jason Rathgaber, and part of jasonrathgaber.com is going to have AI generated content as part of this. When I upload a YouTube video and I look at the camera and I turn on this light and I get geared up for this, it's 100% natural. It's 100% me. There's no AI here. But AI is going to, AI has got to fill in some of the blanks, right? It's got to upload the blogs, right? It's going to send out, and how about send out my own email like Justin Welsh, my own newsletter? How about generate some AI generated videos during the week? I mean, why not? Using AI, fair game, in my standpoint. Let's review quickly, how it's going then. How is it going? How's it going with uploading AI generated posts to jasonrathgaber.com? Let's take, is this working? Is this generating any revenues? Is this generating any clicks? And the answer is no. A lot of YouTubers, a lot of SEO guys are, when they've got something good to show, they show this, they go to Google search. There'll be a link in the document to Google search if you don't have it. And we can take a look at a website. I've got my 3 different websites in here: Greenhorse Studio, jasonrathgaber.com, TryFinder. I don't even have Mechanized. I even forgot about Mechanized, not even in here. We're not tracking clicks. We're not sort of there yet. But, what have we got? 18 total clicks, 259 impressions over the last 3 months. Nothing, right? One thing to keep in mind is they say 96% of all websites get no traffic from Google, okay? This is not, what we're looking at here is not all the traffic to my website, okay? My gets a visitor or 2 per day. But what we're looking at here is traffic is generated from Google, and specifically Google search, right? This is people searching for search terms. And as you know, or you should know, a search term in SEO is called, a keyword, right? So the top keywords that people are searching for, and actually at least being presented with my website by Google, Twitter API v2, uh, you know, Python Twitter API. I think I mentioned this in a previous video that of the different blogs that I have on my website, you've got one technical about programming blog generating all the impressions. Okay, I rewrote this with SEO writing. Okay, I'm actually quite happy with it. I find these pictures to my eye attractive. Yes, they're AI generated, but it's not so bad. I mean, I couldn't have done better myself. I mean, even manually, it would have taken forever. I spent some time trying to get the code blocks formatted nicely. Sample Python code for API calls. We could do better. Yeah, I worked on this. So you can see how to install Tweepy, import Tweepy, and so forth. We need to put a link. That reminds me, we want to put a link to my personal GitHub where this code actually is. Because it's one thing to just see some code blocks on the web, but what you want to do is, I'm just going to write it here on my notes, or else I'll forget and I won't do it. We want to get we want to have a link to GitHub, right? Or we can just download the code, or maybe someone will give me a star on GitHub. Maybe some, just to get the whole stuff and just be able to run it. Otherwise, it takes a minute just to copy paste this, right? There's no download button on this, right? We need to download the code here. We need to make people, I think that'd be good. Download code, link to GitHub. That's going to give it some credibility. We have GitHub link back to this document. How about that? Wouldn't that be, get some interlinking? These are great ideas, like GitHub, show GitHub, have it download the code button, get some backlinks, right? We need backlinks. That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk on Saturday morning, and then we've got Saturday night. We've got Sunday morning. We need to have a life too. We need to get out. We need to have the sunshine on our face. But I think if we upload this video first thing Saturday morning, 52 times. It's too late to do it every week for 2025. I've done it. I've missed the first week. It's okay. But we've hit the second week here. And there's a type of content that people are searching for, right? When I take a look at this, people are searching for Python, Twitter API v2, and my website was presented to them 44 times. We need to build on this. I need to make that page better. And we're going to have other types of content on there. All right. Good. Non-existent traffic, jasonrathgaber.com. We just want this to improve in 2025. It's going to be authentic. If we get to the end of 2025 and we got something different happening here, that's the goal, right? End of 2025, something different. Very quickly, mechanized. Haven't touched the mechanized in 6 months. Been busy. Had stuff on the go. I did happen to click on some of these links. I think I'm not going to do it on this video. Spring AI, LangChain, Next.js, Numerai. This is the type of content we're going to have on this channel this year. Spring AI is in great shape. LangChain agentic AI development, never did it. Never got there. Started it, but did so little. When you click on this, it does something. Like, this has been working the whole time. This is not broken, but this is not using LangChain, right? I now remember what this does. Is it connects to the OpenAI API, and it just creates the LangChain tutorial of the day. Exploring LangChain, powerful tool for language processing. But that's not what we want. We wanted to build this out, have a LangChain example, as well as a Spring AI example, as well as Next.js. So It's January 15th, but we need to get to it, right? We need to build out the mechanized. Maybe not build it out, but one crazy thing I thought I would share. I'm just going to type it in here to my top, is that for some reason I was tempted to do I was tempted to do a Google search of mechanized. And what came up, to my surprise, was mechanized spelt properly, mechanized AI. Poof. So I'm going to show you something that I find a little bit, reaction video, right? Here's a reaction to me reacting to someone's had the same idea as me. We had mechanized.com. We never registered mechanized with no .ai as a domain, but someone's got the same idea, right? Someone's got the same idea. They've registered mechanized.ai, spelt properly. It was available, and they're building a company. They have products, CodeMap, CodeGen. You know what? Wow, hard to digest. I've been digesting this in the context of, the mechanized name was obviously, I've always thought it was a great name. I've always thought it was awesome. I've always thought some of the things that we did with mechanized, like pick this incredible logo, made some business cards, talked about it. I hate this video. This guy looks dumb to me, but he didn't look smart at all. This isn't how I would have done it, but this is a nice site, right? It's got one of these sites which is making it look like there's a big company here with a lot of things. AI Studio, Data Lab, Insights. It's a professional website, right? As opposed to my website, which I made myself, right? And purposely tried to make it look, like it's my own. I tried to make it look like it's my own hacking efforts, right? As opposed to a bot template. I don't see any functionalities here, but I'll tell you, reaction video. You're not seeing my first reaction to it. I can't act and show you. I'm still digesting how I should react, right? Rather than reacting emotionally and having emotionally thoughts, trying to decide, what should I do? Should I take motivation out of this? Should I stop what I'm doing? Should I give up? Tell me. Feel free to put it. If you watch this whole video, should I give up on mechanized.com or should I double down my efforts? Tell me. Watch the video and comment. That'd be incredible. Last but not least, let's just talk a little bit about finance. Ron Walker, touch on some YouTube videos. I think I'm not going to play this. It's not going to be a reaction video where I play a clip. I'd like to do that. That's the type of thing we're going to do on this channel. Play some clips, do some reactions, show some content. But I thought, this guy, Ron Walker, doesn't show his face on his YouTube channel, has got this image of this statue. It's kind of interesting. I'm going to summarize his chart that he has presented, where he's targeting 6350 in the S&P 500. So, what's happened in the S&P 500 this week is there's been a strong payroll report, right? Good news and bad news. This has forced down the stock market. But just when you're looking at stocks going down, you might be tempted, you've got two schools of thoughts, right? So I'm actually just going to switch to my own, and I'm going to just show you where this 63, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot of lines, right? So let's just take a look at my own chart and try and come up with something simpler, right? Way to visualize this target, right? And we want to think a little bit about, can I zoom into this thing? Probably not, but yeah, we can't. What we want to do is we want to take the S&P 500. You can see it's in what's called a tight channel, right? We had the low back in October 23. And since then, it's been going straight up, but there's been some ups and downs, right? And what technicians like to do when the stock market, they like to draw lines through the tops and try and get a feel for, if there's sort of like if it's these tops tend to match up with a straight line, okay? And you can see they do, right? You can see they do. This happens a lot, right? You can see also this one on the bottom is matching this one and matching that one, right? Now you might sit here and you might say, well, technical analysis is hocus pocus, and it's you can't predict the future of the stock market of a random event by what happened on the past. This is just a coincidence, but I'm telling you, a lifetime of watching stocks, a lifetime of charting. Behind me on the bookshelf are a lot of books about technical analysis, making it complex and too messy, or keeping it simple, right? I'm a believer in keeping it simple, but at the same time, we want to this happens again and again, that this is a channel. The S&P 500 is moving up through a channel. That's just what's happening here so far, right? And so we've got the S&P, coming down to the bottom of the channel, right? Whereas in the past, it was bouncing up across the top. So, what Ron is predicting is that, he's the type of guy to, when everyone's selling, right, you like to buy, right? You got two schools of thought. This is just the start of the selling, and this is going to, how could I draw another line? Wouldn't that be great if I was just Mr. Savvy, drawing lines on here as I talk, right? Option one is that this just keeps going down, right? Option number two is that this is going to bounce here and come up to the top of the channel again. And where's the top of the channel, depending on how you draw the line? Let's take a look at his line here. He's maybe looking at a different time frame. He's drawn it tight. He's ignored that thing, right? And he's drawn it nice and tight in there. That's what he's actually done to produce that, right? Ooh, I'm going to take this. I'm going to draw this. He's drawn a tighter thing. He's drawn it across these things and coming in. Look, if you draw across these, if you give it some time, you come in at 345. So just kind of interesting time in financial markets. That's what I'm doing during the week, traveling to New York City, working on financial markets, keeping an eye on it. Do I think that's going to happen? Or is it finally the dump time? And the types of things to consider here are the current trend, but how, anything can happen. I think actually I'm going to leave it at that. Let's watch this. I'm going to try and save this somewhere. Maybe I'm going to post it. I'm going to post this beauty on my blog. And then we're going to come back to it. What are we, experts? We're not. So we're going to, I'm going to post this on my blog. There's going to be this picture. And then in the future, we can come back and we can look and we can say, it was one of these two things. I do think we got inflection. We got CPI next week, right? CPI. Everyone's on inflation. So look, I'm drawing with these little lines. Let's see what happens next week, next Tuesday. It's a good chance for a bounce, right? Softer CPI, or even just, CPI that increases but not as bad as feared, could make the bounce everybody wants. Could it force a dump below the blue line? It could, but it just type of interesting thing that, should we talk about some technical analysis? Should we watch the stock market on this channel? Let me know. Okay, gonna run through the list. I think we talked about everything we wanted to. I'm going to finish it up. I'm going to delete these ums. I'm going to try and edit this video. One last thing I forgot to talk about. The Logitech Ultra Glow. Okay, I'm not plugging this product. No affiliate links. It'd be nice if there was an affiliate link to it. I think it's brightened it up. I purchased it at Best Buy. I didn't buy it online. Hooked it up on top of my monitor. And I think it's just brightened up this video a little bit and just made it look a little less dark and dingy down here. My plan is to reorganize these books and just try and upgrade the kit and make these videos better. So we've ended it on that strange note. Maybe it would have been better to have that in the middle of the video. But I want to thank everyone for getting this far. Click a link in the description. It'd be much appreciated. And I will see you next Saturday.